Back in 1810, a pound of sugar cost the average English worker a full day of wages.
By 1900, factory workers routinely stirred this sweet substance into their hot tea exactly 3 times daily.
That dramatic shift from luxury to staple changed global economics more than almost any other historical commodity.
Surprisingly, the epic story of sugar does not originate in England or on a massive Caribbean plantation.
It actually begins deep within the wild tropical jungles of New Guinea, roughly 10,000 years ago.
Indigenous populations discovered a tall, thick grass growing abundantly across their fertile, remote South Pacific island lands. People pulled the fibrous stalks directly from the ground and tasted concentrated sweetness for the first time.
For millennia, Polynesian humans simply chewed raw cane for quick energy without any processing or global trade networks. The plant spread slowly across Southeast Asia through early human migrations and primitive island maritime trade routes.
By 3500 BC, sugarcane reached India, where innovative farmers completely revolutionized the ways it was always consumed.
Indian agriculturalists crushed the sweet cane, boiled the juice, and successfully created the first solid sugar crystals.
They named these rough crystals kanda, which eventually evolved into the modern English word we call candy.
Now easily stored and safely transported, sugar quickly transformed into a highly valuable, sacred global medical product.
Ancient physicians frequently prescribed these sweet crystals to cure severe headaches, stomach issues, and even physical impotence.
In 326 BC, the powerful armies of Alexander the Great marched east and witnessed this phenomenon.
Astonished Greek military officers described finding a miraculous reed that produced sweet honey without needing any bees.
Despite this incredible discovery, sugar remained a highly exotic curiosity in Western civilization for many more centuries.
It was far too expensive and difficult to transport to ever matter to everyday citizens of Rome. When it finally appeared in Roman markets, only the very wealthiest elites could afford such tiny quantities. A single pound could easily cost a common laborer the equivalent of an entire month of wages.
During the Islamic Golden Age, Arab scholars radically perfected techniques for purifying and refining whiter sugar crystals. They constructed advanced sugar mills across Persia and Egypt, expanding trade networks throughout the entire known world.
European crusaders discovered the sweet substance in 1096 and quickly brought bags back to their respective homelands.
Venetian merchants established a highly lucrative monopoly, selling refined sugar across Europe at massive, staggering profit markups.
In medieval Europe, kings proudly displayed elaborate sugar sculptures as ultimate symbols of immense wealth and power.
Because European climates could not support sugarcane, nations began expanding outward to establish colonial plantation production systems. Portugal utilized enslaved labor forces on Atlantic islands, initiating a brutal economic model that reshaped human history.
Christopher Columbus transported sugarcane cuttings to the Caribbean, where ideal soil sparked an explosive global production boom.
The dangerous boiling houses reached suffocating temperatures, causing frequent injuries to workers operating the heavy machinery continuously. Sugar quickly became the primary economic engine driving the global transatlantic slave trade for 300 years.
By 1800, British citizens consumed 18 pounds annually, transitioning the substance from elite luxury to everyday necessity.
In 1791, enslaved workers in Haiti launched a successful massive revolution, forever altering global political power dynamics.
Losing sugar revenue forced Napoleon to sell the vast Louisiana territory to the United States in 1803. To counter British naval blockades, France successfully developed domestic sugar production utilizing easily grown temperate agricultural beets.
Industrialization brought steam-powered mills and faster railroads, lowering prices and making sugar widely accessible to consumers.
Sweetened tea quickly became the essential, cheap caloric fuel driving factory workers through the peak industrial revolution.
The 20th century witnessed the rise of sodas, processed candies, and unprecedented levels of daily modern sugar consumption.
In 1967, industry executives paid corporate scientists to downplay health risks, shifting public blame toward dietary fats.
High fructose corn syrup soon dominated processed foods, contributing heavily to a modern, widespread global health crisis. From ancient jungles to modern kitchens, this powerful commodity continues to profoundly shape global health and politics. This unprecedented explosion of tropical sugar cultivation rapidly reshaped the economic landscape of the entire Atlantic world. Tiny Barbados soon produced far more valuable commodities than all North American colonial territories combined together. Millions of forced laborers endured unspeakable hardships, driving an insatiable global market that favored pure profit. Brutal plantation conditions severely reduced life expectancy, as systemic exploitation became the primary engine of wealth. The infamous triangle trade continuously channeled manufactured goods, forced labor, and raw sweetness across global oceans.
Enormous profits directly funded powerful European navies and built magnificent merchant empires throughout London and Paris.
British consumption climbed exponentially, permanently embedding this former elite luxury into the daily lives of citizens.
Wealthy politicians actively promoted the trade because these highly specialized colonies generated massive tax revenues annually. However, these oppressive plantation systems unexpectedly ignited powerful undercurrents of fierce, coordinated human resistance and rebellion. In 1791, enslaved laborers fiercely rose up and successfully overthrew their colonial masters in Saint-Domingue.
Defeating multiple foreign armies, they triumphantly established the very first free Black Republic in Western history.
This monumental geopolitical collapse forced a desperate Napoleon Bonaparte to completely reevaluate his entire American empire. France suddenly sold the massive Louisiana territory, instantly doubling the physical size of the United States. Simultaneously, strict British naval blockades cut off France from accessing their traditional tropical Caribbean supply networks.
Seeking a domestic alternative, French scientists successfully extracted identical sucrose directly from common temperate agricultural beets.
Napoleon poured immense state resources into beet cultivation, permanently breaking the ancient monopoly held by tropical sugarcane.
This fierce global rivalry between cane and beet producers drove consumer prices down to historic lows.
The rapid dawn of industrialization introduced steam-powered mills that processed raw crops faster than ever before. Expanding railroad networks transported raw materials to urban centers within hours instead of multiple long days.
Advanced refining technology created perfectly white crystals, which quickly became a universal symbol of modern purity.
Unrefined brown varieties were incorrectly labeled as inferior, despite retaining entirely natural and beneficial trace minerals.
The historic marriage of bitter imported tea and cheap refined sugar completely redefined Western eating habits.
British import numbers doubled within 2 decades as the government slashed import tariffs to boost consumption.
Jams, baked sweets, and confectionaries quickly infiltrated every single corner of everyday working-class European cuisine. These dense sweets provided incredibly cheap, fast calories to sustain long, grueling industrial factory work shifts.
Factory owners enthusiastically embraced the dietary change because it kept labor productive without expensive meal provisions. The founding of the Coca-Cola Company in 1886 officially kicked off a brand new era. Defeating multiple foreign armies, they triumphantly established the very first free Black Republic in Western history.
By 1970, the average citizen consumed over 100 pounds of added sweetness every single year.
Crucially, internal industry research had already discovered strong, undeniable links directly connecting high consumption to heart disease. Executives paid prestigious Harvard scientists to intentionally downplay risks and blame dietary fats for cardiovascular issues.
This heavily manipulated public policy prompted food manufacturers to replace dietary fats with massive amounts of sugar.
The tragic result was a massive, nationwide explosion of obesity, severe diabetes, and fatal heart conditions. This corporate cover-up finally began unyielding public exposure in 2016 through discovered internal industry documentation. Big Sugar executed the exact corporate playbook utilized by tobacco companies to intentionally delay protective health regulations. Meanwhile, a brand new liquid sweetener derived from heavily subsidized cornstarch quietly entered the supply. By 1984, major soda conglomerates permanently substituted traditional cane sugar with high-fructose corn syrup. This cheap alternative quickly saturated processed foods, hiding inside everyday pantry staples unnoticed by most consumers.
A single can of regular soda contains far more sweetness than the total daily recommended allowance. This ancient jungle grass fundamentally engineered our modern world, permanently shaping human history, economics, and health.
This cheap liquid corn sweetener quickly replaced traditional cane sugar across almost every single processed food item. Today, the average American routinely consumes a staggering 17 teaspoons of dangerous added sugar every single day. This massive daily intake vastly exceeds the maximum physical amounts recommended by the reputable American Heart Association. Surpassingly, modern sugar hides inside unexpected everyday consumer products like savory pasta sauces, bread, and salad dressings. An average flavored yogurt product frequently contains far more concentrated sweetness per ounce than a standard candy bar. A single can of regular soda supplies 10 full teaspoons, completely destroying your recommended dietary limits immediately. Consequently, more than 40% of all modern American adults are now officially classified as clinically obese. Furthermore, millions of modern citizens suffer from diabetes, while many more exhibit dangerous, alarming early diabetic symptoms. Heart disease remains the absolute #1 cause of death across the United States every single year. Globally, annual global sugar production now easily exceeds a staggering total of 180 million tons. The average human on Earth currently consumes 50 full pounds of refined sweetness every single calendar year. Pushing back aggressively against this health crisis, Mexico implemented a comprehensive national soda tax during late 2014.
Following that historic legislative action, public soft drink consumption dropped by 12% in the very first year.
The United Kingdom followed with its own aggressive sugar levy, prompting major manufacturers to proactively reformulate recipes. Several prominent American cities, including Philadelphia and Seattle, successfully enacted specialized local taxes on sweetened retail beverages.
Sugar's epic story spans 10 millennia, driving historical slave trades, massive political revolutions, and vast corporate cover-ups.
Today, this incredibly influential commodity sits quietly inside your domestic kitchen, hiding inside your everyday processed foods.
A primitive grass species discovered deep within New Guinea jungles ultimately grew into the most consequential crop. It successfully generated astronomical global fortunes, brutally destroyed millions of human lives, and effortlessly toppled mighty empires.
Subscribe right now to uncover more hidden historical narratives behind the ordinary objects surrounding your daily life.